Greetings, Otaku Faithful. Thank you for joining me again this week. Once again, it's Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief, and I'm here to bring you yet again another Sons of Anarchy episode review, right here on Otaku Assemble! Weekly. As always, I'm here to bring you the latest in this week's Sons of Anarchy episode review. Now, before I jump into this review, I just want you all to know that I was not able to see the episode in its entirety. You have DirecTV and their fucking satellite dishes to thank for that, because it was storming about 30 minutes into the episode. Right around when we got to see the first scene with Potter and Otto in prison. Yeah, that's when my satellite dish decided to fuck up. So I missed like 10 minutes. Yeah, I missed like 10 minutes of the episode, but I caught the rest of it. So anyway, on with the review. Now, I believe this is, this is season 4, and I believe this is episode 11, and it's entitled Call of Duty. This is one of SOA's special 90-minute episodes. The first one, in fact, since this season premiere. And rightfully so, because a lot of shit went down in this week's episode. Okay, so as you all will recall from last week's episode, the attempt on Tara's life left her injured. Her right hand is broken, and that is actually hard. That's kind of jeopardizing her medical career. Well, we find out in this episode, surprisingly, that despite her injury, the hospital in Oregon that wanted her on staff, they're willing to wait out her recovery because they really want her on staff. So that's good, right? Bright side to the whole situation, right? Because she still has a job or a job prospect, right? Until we get I swear to God, I swear to God, how many fucking monkey wrenches can they throw into this show? Seriously. Because in this week's episode, okay, do you all remember Wendy? Fucking Abel's mother? Jax's ex? Who we haven't seen since the season 1 finale? Yeah, that blonde-headed bitch. She shows back up. And just her presence alone is enough to send fucking Tara into a goddamn mental fucking whirlwind. And Tara winds up fucking re-injuring her hand. You know, the thing that infuriates me the most about this show is that a lot of the shit that happens to these characters is self-inflicted. A lot of the ill that these characters encounter is perpetrated by them, by some action or something they said, or it's usually always self-inflicted. It's so, moving on. Also, okay, well, let's just go ahead and finish talking about the whole Wendy situation. So, Wendy came back in town, and of course, it's pretty damn obvious what she wants. She wants Abel. However, she's not trying to get custody of Abel. She just wants to get to know Abel. Now, honestly, very seldomly have I done this in this series, but now I need to bring this up because I think this is a mark of weak writing. Because honestly, the only reason why Wendy has shown up in this series again is because they're really trying to boil up the shitstorm, but she doesn't really have much purpose. What fucking sense does it make for someone to try and get to know a child that they gave up custody of? that they pretty much, for all intents and purposes, abandoned. And now 2.5 years later, you resurface and you're like, oh, I don't want custody of my kid. I just want to get to know them. For what? What purpose are you serving in that child's life? That makes no fucking sense. Whatsoever. None. That makes no fucking sense. Okay? And I'm speaking on this topic as a fucking victim of a divorcee custody case. Okay? My dad never stopped fighting for custody of me. He wasn't just going to be like, oh, well, I guess I'll just, try to stay in my kid's life, but I'm not going to try to get custody of him. No, that's not what he did. Why? Because that's not what fucking people do. You're supposed to fight for your children. You don't just settle for fucking less as, oh, let me just get to know them. No. A parent doesn't get to know their children. They fight to raise their children. That is stupid. That's among the dumbest fucking things I've ever heard in my goddamn life. That's right up there with the whole fucking planking bullshit, and right up there with the fucking a friend of mine who, he is a cool dude, but he says some stupid shit sometimes. He made the comment that he wanted to grow up with his children, meaning that he wanted to have children at a very young age so that he can grow up as his children grow up. That's right up there with those two as the dumbest fucking things I've ever heard in my goddamn life. That's stupid. That's very weak writing on the writer's part. That was just dumb. That was dumb. That should have never been fucking brought up at all. If you were going to bring Wendy back into the series, then you should have brought her back with the intent of getting custody of Abel. And what you should do is that, okay, if Wendy was coming back into the scene to get custody of Abel and Jax and Tara were trying to prevent her from doing that, then what you should do is you should have Wendy fucking legally prevent Jax from leaving the fucking state because he's still on fucking probation. So that's what you should do. Wendy should come back, try to legally get custody of Abel, and as ammunition to better her case, she will bring up all of the criminal activity that Jax is in, the fact that he just got out of prison, the fact that Tara will no longer be able to provide for her family because of her hand. That is jeopardizing her career, and the fact that by Jax and Tara leaving Oregon, Jax will be in violation of his probation. That's how you write her back into the series. You're welcome. Moving on. Okay, so I want to bring up the whole Gemma thing because in this week's episode, this is the episode right after after Clay beat the shit out of Gemma, and we see how that is affecting all of the fucking characters. When Jack saw it, he wanted to fucking kill Clay. I think he should have beat the shit out of Clay when he confronted him about it in the first place. But Tig, when Tig found out, I thought Tig was going to beat the shit out of Clay, but apparently not. Tig has forfeited his title as Sergeant at Arms, which means he's no longer the enforcer. He's no longer the button. If Clay wants some shit done, he's going to have to find someone else to do it. So Clay pretty much lost his button. What else did Gemma? Oh, Gemma, she tried to, take care of the whole Wendy situation, but I don't think that's going to work. I think that's futile right now. I don't see that working. If that's enough to keep her away, then bravo to Gemma. But Gemma wasn't able to play the whole intimidation card, seeing as how her face was swollen as shit. Kind of hard to do that when you're kind of in a vulnerable position yourself. Not many characters can pull that off, and Gemma didn't do a good job of doing that this week. So, sorry, honey. That's not going to do it. But let's talk about the club, because the club, yeah, they got into the shit this week, which is why the episode title is called Call of Duty. The reason for that being was because the Suns decided to use some of the top tier merchandise that they got from the Irish Kings, and Juice appropriately said, "Man, this is some shit like out of my war video games. This is some Call of Duty shit." Yeah, the motherfuckers had grenade launchers, you know, fucking the sniper, you know, did they have automatic sniper rifles? I don't think so. You know how fucking hard it is to obtain an automatic sniper rifle? It's pretty damn hard to obtain those. I don't think they had those. Yeah, those are pretty damn, those are a rarity. Anywho, so yeah, so they pretty much used that top tier merchandise to go into the field against the rival cartel, and there were casualties because they wiped out the members of the cartel that were present. But what's your boy named Cozy? Yeah, he got killed, which is kind of fucked up since we haven't seen him in a couple of episodes, and the first time he's back, he gets snuffed out. It's kind of fucked up. But hey, that's what happens when characters are used as cannon fire. But also, I find it, honestly, Romeo, his boys in the cartel, and not so much Clay, because we know Clay's gonna lie about this until Timbuk 2. But you know, until Hell Freeze is over, you know, Clay is gonna lie about this forever. But Romeo and his crew, I don't really think Jax is taking their word that that the rival cartel is responsible for trying to abduct Tara. Something about the way in which they're lying about it and the way in which Jax is taking it is not clicking up. I don't think Jax fully believes them. I think he suspects that, you know, something ain't right here. But we'll see. Also, fucking Georgie got snuffed this week because apparently the whole little ruse that Georgie was supposed to do with his Asian connects who were supposed to invest the money to Hell for Charming Heights. Yeah, you guys remember that episode when Georgie was supposed to set that up with the Asian investors, that they were supposed to invest in Charming Heights and then back out of it at the last minute, in which case Hal would lose said money, and then the decision for Charming Heights would go back to the city council, who would vote against Hal. Well, apparently, those Asian investors, they decided to go ahead with it. They decided to invest the money in Charming Heights. So, yeah, that's going to happen. And Georgie didn't really, I mean, it's out of his hands. It's not really his fault because from what he said, they did it behind his back. Now, do I think Georgie is a lying sack of shit? Yes, I do. Do I think he might have had something to do with it? Yes, I do. Why? Because as a final screw you to the Suns. But what I'm saying is this. If, in fact, Georgie was telling the truth and they went ahead and did it behind his back, well, that's a lose-lose situation for him anyway, because now it's out of his control. So now that it's out of his control and he didn't keep up his end of the bargain, guess what happens to him? He gets snuffed. So that's what happened. He finally confessed about, you know, the whole Luann situation and didn't really help his case none. So snuffed, he got clipped. So right now in this episode, excluding all of the members of the rival cartel, as far as like the characters that we've seen reoccur, Cozy and Georgie both got snuffed out in this week's episode. Which, speaking of people getting snuffed out, well, before I get to the whole Opie, the last scene with Opie, I'm also want to bring up the fact that apparently, as I mentioned earlier, Potter, the assistant attorney, he went visit Otto in prison because, you know, they're trying to make Otto turn rat, and yeah, apparently he's going with it. So that's gonna come back and bite the Suns in the ass later on, which is gonna bring me to the final scene in this week's episode, which is Opie discovering his old man's body and Wayne being there to tell Opie that, yo, Clay did it. Clay did it. Gemma found out about it, confronted him about it. He beat the shit out of her, and she told me, before then, she told me to take care of the situation, to try and steer it away from Clay. But after she got her ass kicked, she was like, nah, fuck it, let Opie know about it. So, or actually, no, I don't think she told Wayne to do that. But I do remember from last week's review, some of you all in the comments, y'all mentioned, you remember in last week's episode when Gemma said that Clay will die at the hands of a son. I was thinking it was going to be Jax, but some of you guys and gals, y'all were like, nah, it's going to be Opie. And I didn't really think about it until I read those comments, and I was like, yeah, I could see that. Why? Opie has the justification for it. They tried to kill him, killed Donna instead. Went ahead, killed his dad. So just like Wayne told him, it's like, killed your wife, killed your dad. Boom, there it is. And I forget the actor's name who plays Opie, but he did a fantastic job in that scene. I mean, yeah, he did a fantastic job in that final scene. But so based off of the preview for next week's episode, it looks like Opie is pretty. I just dug in my nose on camera, and this is going up on the internet. Like y'all ain't never had boogers before. And besides, it wasn't a booger, it was a fucking nose hair. Anywho, but so apparently based off of next week's episode, it looks like Opie is like full blown, you know, vengeance raged. He's like, you know, he's hell on wheels right now. He's coming for blood. And funny enough, apparently Gemma is trying to get Wayne to pull the plug on that, but I don't see how. I know Opie's not going to kill Clay, or at least in this episode he's not. But also, looks like Clay is going to go ahead and follow up on the whole terror situation. I mean, for fuck's sake, the shit that this girl has been in the past 2 weeks, and you gonna go ahead, they gonna kill off my baby Tara. I've already accepted that fact. I've just been waiting for it to happen. So, do I think it's gonna happen next week? No, I think if Tara is gonna go out, I think it's gonna happen in the series finale. I mean, not series finale, season finale. But still, I mean, just leave the girl alone. Fuck. Just leave her alone. Anyway, that's gonna do it for me. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna wrap up this review. I'm tired as fuck. It's late as hell. And this show is starting to piss me off. Not pissing me off because it's bad. Pissing me off because this is what happens when you watch a show for 4 years and you get invested in the characters and you're so into the goddamn story. I mean, this is why women watch soap operas, right? Because they're so invested in it. This is why guys as kids, we watched wrestling all the time because we were so invested in it. Speaking of women, because I was extremely annoyed by the fact that I got home a little bit earlier tonight, so I caught the ending of the Twilight credits, and I had to sit through that shit while I was waiting for Sons, and I'm sorry. Never seen the movie, don't need to see the movie, but I'm gonna let y'all know right here and now. Any guy that watches Twilight and enjoys it is fucking gay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There's nothing that can be justified. There ain't a damn thing you can say about that goddamn movie to make me think any less of you as a man. If I find out, because I know a couple of dudes who watch Twilight and they enjoy it, and I tell them to their face, that's fucking gay. That's fucking gay. So I'm letting all you all know right now, that's fucking gay, okay? I'm just saying. And don't y'all be going around calling me, oh Larry, you insensitive to homosexuality and shit like that. I'm not even talking about gay as in homosexuality. I'm talking about gay in the sense that that's a man that is doing something very fucking feminine, and his balls need to be checked. Cause they might not be there. I'm just saying, that's fucking gay. So yeah, with that said, this is Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief. That's fucking gay. A man and Twilight do not fucking mix. That's gay. So yeah, until next time, peace.